Okay, let's get going. Yeah, you can hear that now. So I'd like to call to order the May 20th Beautification and Tree Advisory Board meeting. And Tammy put this over here for me to do this. Thanks, Tammy. Just first of all, I'd like to establish that we do have a quorum, and we certainly do. Looks like the gang's all here. So welcome, everybody. First order of business is approval of the previous meeting minutes. Are there any additions or corrections? If not, I'll take a motion for approval.
I make a motion to approve.
And second?
Second.
All right. Having a motion and a second, the previous meeting minutes are approved. Okay, I'd like to just make a quick announcement. I'd like to acknowledge that this is Public Works Week. And our Public Works team has really been through the ringer this year. And Jack, you've probably been through the ringer too. So I really appreciate everything. I think our city did a great job responding to the disaster, the storm. So just like to acknowledge all of them. And two, even though Mr. Ellis is not here, I'd just like to, he's leaving us September 30th, so we're going to miss him. I appreciate everything he's done to get this tree board established and all he does not only for us but for the city. So thanks, Tim. All right. Comments from the audience. Does anybody have any comments they would like to make? Hearing none, we'll move on. All right. Unfinished business, the native wildflower meadow.
So it has been marked off and has been sprayed once for preparation of it. The parks has to spray it 2 more times. So we're in the process of that. That's where we are on the native garden.
Does she have a date that she wants to get started or anything, or is it kind of depending on how things go more?
I think it's in the later part of the year.
Okay.
Because of the spraying. We kind of spread it out some, and then it's really I think it's going to be for next year once.
Or fall. Yeah. Well, again, now it's not a great time to be planting.
Right.
It's 90 degrees today, and it hadn't rained for 2 weeks. Okay, thanks, Jack. Next is revive and root recap and discussion. Again, I'd just like to say right off the bat that I thought this year's event really, really went well. It was super well attended, and appreciate everybody that had a hand in planning and pulling it off. But does anybody else have any other thoughts about it, opportunities for improvement, those kind of things?
I thought, for the first time for me doing it or being a part of it, I thought it was very successful. We've spoken with Goodlettsville Elementary School, and they are willing to continue with that partnership. They bring their class, I think a 5th grade class, to the event. We ended up having over 200 people for it, which I feel like is our best attended that we've ever had. So I think it was a tremendous success, and we're excited that the elementary school's going to partner with us in the future.
I agree, David. Any other thoughts? All right, great. All right, spring beautification and cleanup events.
On page 3 of your packet, you will see a flyer that Julie put together for us. She's unable to be here today, so she put together a flyer just kind of recapping what our spring events as far as cleanup efforts go within the city. So there was an Earth Day cleanup that was held on April 22nd by the Dollar General Young Professionals Group. They had 31 volunteers, and it was 93 total volunteer hours that went into cleaning up Pleasant Green Park. So that was a great success. We appreciate the partnership with Dollar General and their willingness to come out and do this for our parks, the beautification of the parks in different areas. Tennessee Tree Day was held on March 20th, and there was over 500 trees distributed from the Public Works parking lot. So that, again, was a big success for us. Spring shredding event, we had over 50 cars on May 2nd come through the shredding event, and that coincided with the spring litter cleanup event on May 2nd. So these are big things that have happened over the past couple of months, and just different ways that we've worked to beautify the city, and we look to continue doing these things every spring.
Right, all good events. Thanks, Sarah. you want to go ahead and talk about the Moss Wright Park traffic recirculation and pedestrian improvement plan?
Yes, I believe the last meeting it was reported that we were undergoing an archaeological study, or we were about to, as required by TDEC. That has been complete. They had findings, but they were minor findings, and they're not findings that would impact any type of construction. They feel confident that we can move forward with construction. If there is something to be found, we would pull them back in and go from there. But they were not significant findings, so that was fortunate for us. We're hopeful that as we move through the process, that it continues on that path. With that said, we will probably start moving towards design as soon as TDEC approves the archaeological dig that we presented to them and the findings they presented to them. With that said, though, we would not move forward with construction specifically with the roundabout, because that's going to impact our athletic leagues until next year. So there are things that we will look at doing. Again, our next step is design after TDEC approves those findings. So we're kind of in limbo right now. As soon as we get that approval, we'll start moving ahead, and we'll update you as we have more information.
Great, thanks. So new business, Arboretum replacement labels and new map.
There are several Arboretum labels that we need to replace. I think Eddie has a list of those trees, and there was some that were mentioned in the previous meeting as well. So we're going to replace those labels and the map, but we're going to do that as it coincides with the branding rollout that we have as a city. Many of you know that we're going through a rebrand as a city. We've been looking at kind of what our story is as a city, how we tell our story, and coming up with new deliverables as far as logos, colors, and things like that. So we will move forward with purchasing new replacement labels, and we're going to repurchase labels for the entire Arboretum, so it's consistent with our new brand. We're just a couple weeks away from having all of those deliverables. The brand story and the logo were rolled out to our commissioners individually over the past couple of weeks, and staff has partially, some of our staff has seen it, and then today the rest of our staff will see it. So as that happens, then you'll start slowly seeing it introduced throughout the city. We're not going to do a big unveiling or anything like that. It's just going to kind of slowly trickle. You'll see when you start receiving emails from us, our taglines will have changed a little bit, and you'll start seeing the logo throughout the city. There will be a brand story video that is presented to the Board of Commission at the next meeting. So like I said, we're just a couple weeks away from having all of our deliverables, and then we'll move forward. And again, the map, I'm going to have the map redone. We're going to redo the entire map of Moss Wright Park as well, and so
And renumber.
we'll renumber and everything. So as soon as we get all that information, I'll get all of that stuff set up for us, and we'll move forward from there.
And again, one thing I would like to do, and this might involve Eddie a little bit, that one little section from like kind of Court 2 down to the rough leaf dogwood where we don't have a whole lot of trees, maybe add 1 or 2 trees down through there. Probably be duplicate trees, but just something to make it, you've got probably 100 yards there, 150 yards where there's just nothing. And so, I just think it's just kind of a gap in the whole trail. So maybe, figure out, are those red oaks or white oaks or, some of those really big, pretty trees down through there. Maybe add 1 or 2 more trees, if that's okay.
Yeah, any trees that we want to add to the map, this is certainly the time to do that. Eddie and I were discussing if there were any additional trees that we wanted to plant and add to the map, we could do that, look at doing that in the fall as well.
And we've added a few already, so, yeah. And we've lost a few too, so.
Yeah.
Great, good plan. Beautification update.
Hey, now that we've gotten through the spring cleanups and all of those things, as of right now, I don't really have anything on the horizon for the summer. We might look at something towards the fall again, and I think maybe try to tie something with the fall drop-off and kind of have a whole day around cleanup again in the fall. So that's it.
I was going to add for Julie, she's not here today. We are looking at, as part of Project 072, the revamp of the Adopt a Street and the Adopt a Landscape that's been mentioned. With our new brand, we'll also kind of relaunch that to the public and try to really push that out and get more participation in our Adopt a Street program and our Adopt a Landscape program as well.
Okay. Future beautification and tree advisory board initiatives, you know, I always need to be thinking about what's our next step, what are we going to do going forward in the future? Are there any things we need to add as a tree board to our agenda? I just wanted to throw it out there. Does anybody have any suggestions or ideas about initiatives that we need to think about? Okay.
I'll add something, just as a city as a whole, with the rebrand and with the Main Street project going on and the 65 project going on, beautification is going to be something that we are heavily looking at as a city. So what are ways that we can look to beautify our streets, to beautify our facilities? So any type of ideas that you all have, we would love to hear those and talk through those and see how we can bring those initiatives to life. There's going to be a lot of opportunities, especially as Main Street wraps up in the coming years, to really make our community look beautiful and just work to do that. I know that we need an under construction sign right now for sure, but just as we move forward, we definitely are wanting to continue the beautification and just really push that and into our community and get our community involved in those efforts.
So is there a street beautification plan built into this whole Main Street project or anything like that, or is it just really replacing the utilities and all that? Does anybody know?
I won't be able to speak too knowledgeably on this, but Eddie might know some. There is landscaping that is involved in the Main Street project. The majority of it is the underground utilities and moving some of that away. So as far as the beautification of the aesthetics of Main Street, like a lot of the lines will be buried. There will be new, is it like the mast arm? Is that mast arm poles? So that will look differently. There is landscaping that will be added to Main Street on the sidewalks, not in the median. There will not be anything, there will be no median. So yes, there will be some green spaces and trees and things like that that will be added to Main Street.
And part of that too is we've got this house up here, the city owns the house up here on the corner of Rivergate and Main Street, and so that has been slated for a park. So you'll see that area transform in the future as well. And the idea there is more of a passive park to just make it a place, kind of a serene place you can walk to very easily and have somewhere to sit. Again, tie into beautification in some way.
Has there ever been any discussion of adding any kind of like parking downtown?
Yes, that was actually in our budget that they approved on first reading on Thursday, May 14th. Something that the city manager has been in talks with a local property owner at the corner of, is that East Cedar and Main? Right across from Rust and Ruffles, that corner right there, looking at a lease for parking right there, for public parking. In addition to what we have here at City Hall, there has been talks of that. That was approved on first reading for negotiations. As far as a lease to go before, just to have the money there. We don't have anything, we don't have any contract or anything like that. But yes, there has been discussion and there has been movement towards that.
I just know, we did the All About the Bloom event, and, we're using Colin Garrett's parking lot for things like that. And, that was fine. But, at other times of the year, if people want to come down and shop or things like that, some of the antique things, it'd be nice to have a little bit better parking. So cool. That's great. Okay. Any reports from staff? Eddie, you got anything you want to throw out there?
I think everything's been covered as far as, I don't know, right now it's water.
We could definitely use some rain, that's for sure. Anybody else have anything?
Just a few updates from the parks. We did lose one of the trees, one of the new trees at Rachel's Garden. Of course, Eddie's in the process. We'll plant it when the time's right. We ended up cutting down 4 trees at the visitor center that were Bradford pears. A lot of those, of course, received damage from the ice storm. We do plan on replacing them and just a different location.
And a different tree?
Well, that's what I was going to ask too. So we cut down 4. If there's any that we want to add, we plan on doing it kind of where the parking lot is, further down where the green space is, somewhere close to the split rail, but away from it, just to add 4 trees. So any recommendations on that? Before we do, of course, it's going to be during the fall before we get ready to do that. So be a perfect time to add any trees to the arboretum if we want to.
That would be a great spot to add 4 trees.
A couple of trees were planted, one for the Daughters of the Revolutionary tulip poplar down by the soccer corner. We did plant one there. Eddie and them did get a little bit bigger tree for that spot. We also had another tree planted close to the shop and the restrooms right there in between the shelters and not all. And as if you go to the park, we've got some, as you see, birdhouses that have been put up. That is a club, Lakeside Bluebird Club. The agreement is, they're supposed to monitor them, keep them up, come out and keep them up. So that's, you'll see those alongside the trail also. And as the ice storm, as Josh says, we keep finding more and more trees that did not survive. So it's still an ongoing thing of cutting the dead trees down as they come through. So, if you see them, report them, and we'll get them cut down as soon as we can.
Did they ever figure out what the leak was in the butterfly garden?
So it was a line that busted. So now we've got low pressure as far as water pressure. So we're investigating that. Don't know, maybe a rock got caught in the line, and then, of course, it's wedged itself in the pipe. So that's, that was a big fix. That was a very deep pipe also because of the berm and everything. It was probably 5.5 feet deep. So that was a hard find. But the water is repaired. Shouldn't be leaking. If you do see anything, please let us know. But the next problem is we do have low water pressure, and we're afraid that maybe a rock or something's got wedged in the line as it reduces down. So,
And it was one of those things where, again, it's bad that it took out half of the garden there, but it's also an opportunity to kind of, replant and redo things too. So, but, okay, great. Any other comments from board members or staff? Dave, you got anything?
Just not a ton tree board related, but as far as our outdoor activities for the summer coming up, the splash pad is now open. So we're happy about that. The pool will open Saturday, the 23rd. We have added our hours to the pool on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so we're open until 7:30 at night on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're also going to do a water aerobics class on Wednesday mornings at 9 o'clock. So those have been a couple of things that the public has requested, and we're going to try and do that for this year. We've also added about 20 or 25 activities throughout the summer at the pool. So we'll be doing things like we're doing a Flag Day, we're doing a summer luau party on Fridays, a Mother's Day, a Father's Day, just some different special events throughout the summer at the pool. Our City T-Ball League starts on June 2nd. Our sand volleyball starts on June 8th. We have 4 movies in June, July, and August, movies in the park. We have 4 Fun Fridays for June and July, and then our July 3rd celebration obviously is on the Friday, July 3rd. And then we have an August 7th car fit cruise-in where the seniors can come in and have their seats adjusted and mirrors adjusted in their cars, and then we'll have a little car show as well as that at Pleasant Green. So a busy summer, and we're excited to get it kicked off.
Sounds like great events. Anything else? All right, if not, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.